Hello and welcome to another video. This video is very interesting in my opinion. We're going to look at the nature of the problem that we are dealing with. Let's assume that we have a products that we're producing on a daily basis, but also we want to keep track of all the people who are involved in the process of manufacturing that product. So somebody will contribute 3 hours or 4 hours based on a business plan. So the total number of hours it took to produce that items on a certain date initially is 250 hours. So this is an observed value. Let's assume this is started at August 1st, 2015. Okay, that's the very first day that actually took the 250 hours of total employees hours. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the number of the day, not the number of the day, the name of the day from this date. If I clicked, if I typed equal in reference to that cell, it's going to give me the same exact date. So I'm going to go ahead and format this only to give me the corresponding word day name for that day, day for that date. So I'm going to go to custom number format, and in the date here I'm going to go ahead and type go to custom and type here, where is it to type here, D 4 Ds, and end up with the name of the day for that date. Of course, I could go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and drag it down all the way maybe to 40, or just 41. So it will be the total 40 since we have a title. All right, so not to type this in front of you, I already typed the total number of the day hours by a group of employees that required to produce that item. As you notice, the number could fluctuate. It goes up, down. Our ultimate aim is to reach a goal that we wanted to do this production with 210. So our goal, we need to use up to 210 hours, no more than 200. See, what is the date that we're going to be able to reach that goal? And also, we will be able to, along the way, to produce an equation that will be able to assist me in predicting the number of the hours that will take me to produce similar items depending on any date, using any date. So look here, this is basically the date is the independent variable. This is the dependent variable. So this is the outcome. This is the Y in our discussion, and this is the X. So this is a unique video, as I said earlier, because I need to be able to see that without without too much involvement, in the calculation. So graphically, I'm doing this basically. And as I said, I took that from a young man who really used that. I watched this video a couple years ago, and he used the similar approach, a little bit modified. I modified it a little bit from him to track his body weight over a long period of time with a target that he wants to reach. Just to give a credit to that individual one more time, if I haven't done that earlier. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and go back to this to see how we're going to chart this. I'm going to stop right here. So these are observed data at certain dates. So also I typed in to save ourselves some time. And I'm going to go ahead and select these two all the way to here. Okay. I could do that, or I could start the chart from the beginning. But let me go ahead and use that. And by going into insert and go to the scattered and go to the smooth edges here, and it give me the chart right away. So the total number of hours by a group of employee. Of course, let me go ahead and add this here to produce a item. I don't know what that item, to produce an item. Okay. Of course, notice here the formatting axis here. We could go ahead and look. The 222 is the smallest video. Smallest number of hours. So we have to click on that and fix that. I'm going to go ahead and put that maybe 200 or 200, because we're going to reach the goal of 210 eventually. Let's go ahead and put it 200. Okay. And the maximum value that we got, basically, it's going to be based on the fact it's 250. Let's leave it 255. So we don't want to really use more than what we need. And I could change that to have 5, the major goal, instead of 10. So that will make it a little bit closer. And when it comes to the date, I'm going to click on the right button to format the axis for the date, which is the x-axis here. It started with 7:30. That's fine. I mean, July 30th, because I start here, but I could go ahead and add 2 days, because I know 7:30, there is 2 days after that before we get to August. So it's going to be, here we go. And this is fine. The only thing I wanted to do, go ahead and format this one here, number. But of course, it's a date, but I wanted to go ahead and format it into, okay, I could go ahead and use that. I wanted the day and the month. So it makes it a little bit better to format it. Still, there is a lot of crowdness there. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out how to take that out. Okay, 1 second. And let me see here, 262. That's basically, I could go ahead and take the major instead of 5. Let's go ahead and make it 7. So this will enable me to see it 1 week at a time, or better yet, we could put it 21 days. So every 3 weeks. So actually, that's one way of doing it. It's up to you. You want to crowd it, we could leave it at 7. So it's going to be 1 week at a time. And if we get more of the date, it's going to squeeze itself anyway. So this is basically from August 1, August. I don't like the year, so I'm going to take the year actually from there, because let's go ahead and do it that way. Okay, so this is basically a formatting issue. I'm not going to worry about it a lot. So I'm going to close this one here. And you could see that the line is basically a little bit going up and down. You could squeeze that a little bit to see even better, because I'm going to be using a larger amount of data soon. One of the easiest way to see how is actually the trend is going down or up, to smooth those edges. You know, if we really squeeze that a lot, see, it's going to be very, very kind of like up and down in a drastic way. So we could go ahead and smooth it by creating what we call moving average. So how do we do the moving average? First of all, let me go ahead and take all that here and make that wrap text, so we don't have to attack each. Here we go, and also could go up, so that will be good here. And let's go ahead and do the moving average. How does the moving average works? I'm going to go ahead and do it every 7 days, an average. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here I'm going to say the average. Okay, the average. Here we go. Of those 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and it gave me this average, and I could go ahead and click here. It's going to take me all the way down, of course, by double clicking. So that's the average of these 7 days, giving me another line or curve to smooth my view, so I don't have to really deal with a lot of peaks and valleys. Of course, I could easily go ahead and add the graph. So the whole idea here is to get you graph. That's why I included charting videos in order to get you familiar with it, so you don't have to be afraid of dealing with it. The very first thing that I wanted to do is to click on this one here to activate the chart tools. I'm going to go to the design. In order to modify the chart, you need to select the data. And now we're going to add something else. I'm going to add, and it's going to ask you what you're going to name this series. I'm going to call it moving average. Okay, and the x-axis is going to be all the way from here to, let me go ahead and drag it, because I'm not going all the way down. I'm going to go all the way to here. And the y-axis is really the moving average, and I'm going to go ahead and select it from here all the way down. If I have the need to go all the way down, knowing that I'm going to include everything, then I would press Control Shift down arrow, and that will give me the exact need that I want. Here we go. Look here at the moving average. Let's see if that is actually covered everything we here need. That's it. And it's very smooth, smoother than the actual original line. Okay, so this is basically, let me see if I did cover this. Yes, as well. And now what we're gonna do, to see where is our goal is going to be met. So this is our target or our goal. And let's go ahead and see 210. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that all the way down. So the target is 210. And now what we're going to do is to go ahead and draw the target as well on the chart. So I'm going to click anywhere in order to activate. And I'm going to go ahead and select the data. And I'm going to go ahead and add another one. And I'm going to call that target. And the series is going to be this here. I'm going to go ahead and select that all the way to here. Okay. And this one here is going to be also all the way here. Let me go ahead, actually include the date all the way to the end because I'm going to include the rest of the data. Of course, I made a big mistake of not erasing this one here, which is really going to make it it did add it, but you will see that this is actually my goal. However, I wanted to see also if I go to this one here and added more dates so I could have more chart, and the chart will be a little bit, look here, the chart. I need to go ahead and expand. See, the chart originally only covered the data that are highlighted now. So let me go ahead and cover the whole thing for both the moving target and the actual chart. Here we go. And also I need to go to this one here. Notice here. And also I need to do the same thing in order to cover the new data, because I want to be looking where is the target is going to be hit around what date. Here we go. Look here. This is my target of 210. And let's take a look at the where is going to be. Of course, here we forgot this one here. So I need to include that as well in the moving in the target. So we could be able to see that the target already been hit here. Fantastic. Around September, I could go ahead and make it even clearer here by stretching this a little bit to see around September, let's say 17 maybe, or 16. So let's go ahead and look at the target where it was the 200 here, and this one here, 210, 211. Yeah, it is actually between 215 and 216. So we were able to really meet our target. Great. Notice how easy it is. So this is basically very, very helpful to see how we use the target. And of course, the smoothing edges of the moving average helped us to see also things better if we have a lot of rugged data up and down. We don't have really too many up and down. Basically, a lot of production do have up and down, so you could get really so much valleys and peaks. Let's go ahead and see. How about if I do actually move my target here from 210 in this case, because I felt like really I'm better, and I'm going to move it to 205. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and of course do that and take that down from 210 to 200. Look here how our goal has dropped 5 points, and now we could be able to see that we're going to look at that target from now on, you know, where we're going to hit it. We're going to hit it really directly, right? Let me see here. We already hit it directly like a couple days later. But it makes sense, like if I wanted to go ahead and, you know, keep doing more target in the future when we're going to probably get it to 150 to see where that is going to meet. The one other thing that I have to show it to you is to click on this yellow here, I mean the blue one, and go ahead and go to the design, go to add chart and elements and go to the trend lines. If you click on the trend line linears and it didn't give you the menu to deal with it, to modify it, the best way is to go to more trend line option, and you control that yourself by displaying the equation on the chart, display R square, and here we have both. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit larger. Here we go. Even I'm going to make it bold, so I'll be able to now do the prediction. That's basically most of this video is to get to this point. So let's assume some days in the future, like say December 12th, 2015. That's basically within the same year. I already changed this one. If it was a date, here we go. It's even long date. It doesn't matter. I could change the date because the date is a number and it starts at I think it's 1900. So even the day before 1900. We're going to go ahead and say, okay, change that to a number. It's going to give me the number of that corresponding day from 1900. So I'm going to go ahead and take the decimal point, of course, and this is the date for the actual date that I'm trying to predict using this equation here. So how are we going to do it? We're going to go ahead and say, okay, the number of the hour it will take me to produce that items in that day is going to be minus 0.9375. That is my slope, and x is the date. So this is the date. And now we're going to go ahead and add the intercept 39,833, and look what's going to happen. So it's actually taking me 129 days, 0.875, because the model now is able to predict that. What about if my efficiency goes up the roof and I kept wanted to go ahead and reduce the number of the hour based on the goal, a new goal, and I wanted to look what happens based on this model, what will happen in, let's say, March 1, 2016. So this is actually a New Year's and 3 months later. I could go ahead and, of course, drag this directly to here. And since I already used the same format and date is a number, so it's going to make me actually, or requires from me, 54 hours of total numbers of employees working on that project before I could get that item produced. Amazing, because this is basically, we have been able to keep track of an activities graphically, and also we use the predictive model directly supplied to us by the trend lines, and we have both the graphs and the average, moving average, along with the trend lines, along with the function, along with the R square, which we all know there is a very, very good correlation between the date and the total number of hours, of course, used by a group of employees to produce that item. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.